Hey guys, it is TuckTuckBoy here and welcome back to another video where today, this is a tutorial on how to make a stop motion. Now, I am not the best at stop motion. I've only been doing it for 3 years, or since the YouTube channel started, and they've not been very good, hence my last one. But, a lot of these tips I'm going to be saying are from Brick Bros Productions, so please check out their channel and watch their stop motion tutorial because it'll be much better than mine. Now, the thing with theirs is they have like expensive lights and stuff. I don't have that kind of stuff. I have a regular lamp and a tiny tripod, and the tripod I'm using for this right now, and that is this tripod right here. So for higher views, I use this, and then for smaller, this. So thanks to Doppelgachi for getting this for me, and this is about $15 on Amazon, so if you want that, because it's portable and magnetic. Tip number 1, no natural lighting. It gets shadows in, so close your blinds. Tip number 2, wear black because then it doesn't get your shadow in the background. For the last of lighting is you can just use a regular lamp, but again, no natural light, because then this doesn't get as many shadows. Now, if you're struggling with a background, what I use is I just use this box for a blue background, and sometimes in my shots, because my stop motions are not as high quality, I get the wood floors in there. And so that's not always a good thing, and sometimes you might not have a good box, or because this setting, I would use LEGO sets, such as the Sanctum Sanctorum, but I can't use that for a medieval background. So what I recommend is you can get a green screen for just a green piece of paper, or you can use this as a background for a green screen. It works quite well. You do get the studs in the background, but maybe for like a stop motion, that'd be kind of cool. Tip number 4 or 5, I can't remember. Tape down your base plates. If you don't tape it down, then your set is going to move around when you're doing stop motion. Another tip is if you do not have a perfect background or something and you don't want to build an entire building, thanks to Levi Johnson for building this for me, or with me. So he built this and a lot of this medieval area, so I think it's really, really cool. So thank you to him for that and for letting me use the minifigures. But if you don't want to build like an entire setup like this, what you can do is you can just use little things like this or a wall to use as a background, so then you don't have to build an entire set. You can just have one little wall and pretend that that's an entire set. For apps for stop motion, I recommend Stop Motion Studio or Stop Motion Studio Pro. You can choose either one. Stop Motion Studio Pro is $5 because it includes more stuff. But with Stop Motion Studio, it doesn't include all the stuff like green screen and all of that. But for me, I just bought some of the things that I thought I would use separately. So, as you can see with this stop motion, what I recommend for starting is I use 5 frames, but most people use 15 FPS, or FPS stands for frames per second. So most people use 15 FPS, but because I'm not as good at stop motion, I use 5 FPS. But if you are, once you get a lot better at stop motion, I recommend going to 15 FPS, because with this, it goes too fast for me, and it wouldn't work out very well. But for most people, 15 FPS is the best way to do it. Another thing you need to have for stop motion is a lot, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot of patience. Other tips for using Stop Motion Studio is if you want dialogue, you just do this and you click record. So then I can do some audio. Yeah. Like that. That was weird, but yeah. Something like that. Now I'm going to delete this audio because I don't need it. Oh, and what you can also do is you can add different sound effects like robot, radio, walkie-talkie, echo, mystery space, alien. I don't know if you have to pay for that, but yeah. And for audio, for music in the background, you can make your own music and add that. Or you can use the music that has already came with it, like Evil March, exciting trailer. And you've probably seen a lot of this music in other stop motions. And that does come with Stop Motion Studio Pro that you have to do. So that's audio. How to do FPS is you go onto the settings sign, and you would do, this has different fades, your screen, how it's screened. So for this one, I'm going to use cinematic mode because this is a movie that a character is watching. Now you can have a foreground. You can have it looking like this. I think you have to pay for this, but it's pretty cool that you can use all this stuff. Now you can do a filter, adding this, 4K, and plays a loop. Now, what I do is, let's say this is my final stop motion, and I'm done. Is you hold it down, and you would go like this, and then I would do export movie. Now, I could go to iMovie, or I could save the video. So I'm saving the video, and you want it to allow your photos. So once I have that, I go into iMovie. I'm in iMovie. You select what movie you would like to do, and I could add other tips for using stop, but I'm going to add this stop motion. So you select it, there we go. Now, instead of taking a filter and doing it for all of those, what I do is I would just click here, go over here, and do silent era, or Western. So I'm going to go with Western, and you can select your own music. You can even add some dialogue. And right here, I can add some sound effects and audio. So let's go to sound effects. So I can add applause, barking. I can add that pig barking, so I have no idea. Door close. Let's add frogs. Let's add some frogs. So then if you'd like to cut it down, then you can just go right here, split, delete. Now editing does take a while, so if you are not the best at editing, I recommend just going on time and keep practicing and practicing, because it gets a lot easier. And I love editing, so I always thought it was really fun. So here's the videos that I've just taken and that you will soon be watching, and my original stop motion. So those are mainly my tips and tricks. And once you're done with it, you can name it. So I'm going to call it cheese. And you go here. And that's great. A little glitch that my phone does. It always does that. And you go to YouTube. And it depends on what you want it on. High definition. If you want it on private, unlisted, or public, it automatically selects private. So if you want it to be public, you could click public and you click share. Then it exports the movie, but I'm not going to export it because you're going to have to wait for that. But I hope you enjoyed this little stop motion tutorial. It's not very good, but I hope you still enjoyed.